Well, of course, a very positive and engaging meeting with the new UKREP representative for the United Kingdom, the new ambassador of the United Kingdom to Brussels, who will be leading a lot of the Brexit work for Prime Minister May, and therefore all of those issues are the ones that we'll discuss, but without taking our eye off the current issues that are bubbling under the surface, which have been relevant to Gibraltar for some time, the issues which are going to continue to be relevant whilst we remain members of the European Union, and which will then become some of the aspects that we have to be very careful with in the context of our future after the United Kingdom leaves the European Union.
The Gibraltar government says it does all it can on Brexit, and of course the importance of doing your homework, but at the end I think one of the key phrases would actually be goodwill. What sort of goodwill have you experienced here? I know that among the meetings you met the UK Commissioner for the EU.
Well, Commissioner Sir Julian King is a good long-term friend of Gibraltar. He was permanent Under-Secretary at the Foreign Office. He understands the issues that are relevant to Gibraltar. As Commissioner, he has an obligation not to bring any national issues to his determinations. He must act in the interests of the European Union. But of course, the knowledge that he has is fundamental to his understanding of the operation of those parts of the European Union that are relevant to the work he's doing. And he knows the frontier at Gibraltar. He's dealing with security issues and therefore Schengen border code issues, and he will be able to understand those much better than we could explain them to somebody who might not have any knowledge of the background to the way that those matters have manifested themselves negatively in the past.
Well, Chief Minister, talking of goodwill, those statements by Nick Clegg that Gibraltar would be at the bottom of the list of priorities, what would you say to that?
Well, I think that the work that we're doing with the British government, with the Joint Ministerial Council that we are part of, with Robin Walker and Alan Duncan, the work that we're doing also in the JMC on the overseas territories, which we're a part of as well, all of that, I think, demonstrates that we are very involved in the determinations being made in the context of the UK's negotiations. So I think it is also important to factor in the political aspects of Brexit. Brexiteers and Remainers will not want to see Gibraltar be the first or the last victim of the Brexit negotiating process. And I think Theresa May has demonstrated that she's committed to working with the government of Gibraltar in respect of these matters. We are going to keep a cynical eye on how the British government behaves in this respect to ensure that they continue to keep us fully involved, that they continue to listen, but it would also be unfair to say now that they are not listening and that we are not fully involved, because the fact is that we are.
Well, just finished a morning of meetings and off to the European Parliament now. By the time viewers get to see this interview, you will just have finished your presentation and question and answer session at the Parliament. What would you say would be the main thrust of your presentation?
I think the important thing in the European Parliament is to put the accent on how European the people of Gibraltar have felt, how we put our hopes and our faith in the European project, the importance of Gibraltar continuing its representation in the European Union with this magnificent office in the centre of the European decision-making capital that is Brussels, and how Gibraltar wants to continue to participate in the European Union, not in membership, but to have that relationship with the EU going forward, which will be one of continued mutual benefit. Spain will be our nearest European country, but it will not be the only European country. She will be one of 27 remaining member states, and we will want to work with that European Union to see it succeed, to see Gibraltar continue to succeed as a part of the continent of Europe. And what I will say to the members of the European Parliament today is that we will be leaving the European Union, but our hearts will remain in Europe and our homes will be forever European.